Starting with iOS 11, you can use Siri to interact directly with OmniFocus. You can perform a variety of operations, including creating actions, adding projects, marking items complete, and searching. In this video, you'll learn some of the ways you can interact with OmniFocus using Siri as we explore some specific use cases. Let's start with adding actions. You can add an item to the OmniFocus inbox by saying, for example, add pick up my new iPhone 8 Plus in OmniFocus.
Okay, I've created it.
It's important to specify in OmniFocus so Siri knows what app you're talking about. I find it works best to compose the instruction you'll be giving to Siri in your mind before triggering Siri. You can also create actions that contain due dates. For example, remind me to check in to my flight on Tuesday at 9 a.m. in OmniFocus.
Okay, done.
And you can use Siri to add items to specific projects and contexts in OmniFocus. It's important to note that Siri doesn't distinguish between projects and contexts. Siri considers both to be lists. Also, if you have more than one project or context with the same name, you'll be prompted to specify which one you're targeting. I'll add an action to my administration single action list by saying, add submit expense report to my administration list in OmniFocus.
To confirm, you'd like to add this to your list called Administration?
Yes.
Okay, I've added it.
You'll notice that this item has been added to my inbox. This is because I applied a setting of cleanup inbox items that have both a project and a context in the Mac version of OmniFocus. I'll tap on the action and add a context of moderate, and then tap Done. Since both the project and the context have now been defined, this item will disappear from my inbox. If you're making use of contexts, I recommend adding context to all of your OmniFocus actions. Otherwise, some could slip through the cracks. Next, I'll use Siri to create a new action that's assigned to a context. Add Buy Apple TV to my Apple Store list in OmniFocus.
To confirm, you'd like to add this to your list called Apple Store.
Yes.
Okay, I've added it.
The inbox now contains an action called Buy Apple TV with a context of Apple Store. I'll add this to my Fun and Recreation single action list and tap Done to fully process it into my system. Siri can be used to create repeating actions as well. Let's say that you need to send out a progress report each Friday. Remind me to send a progress report every Friday at 4 p.m. in OmniFocus.
Okay, done.
The inbox now contains an action called Send Progress Report that's due every Friday at 4 p.m. When specifying the times of due items, I recommend that you allow a buffer. For example, if you typically leave the office at 5 p.m., consider making the action due at 4 p.m. If 4 p.m. comes along and you still haven't marked this action complete, OmniFocus will remind you and you'll have an hour to get it done. When you ask Siri to create a list in OmniFocus, it's assumed that you mean a project, not a context. So if you want to create a project to plan a trip to New Zealand, you would say, create a list called Plan Trip to New Zealand in OmniFocus.
Okay, I've created a list called Plan Trip to New Zealand.
When you go to the Projects tab, you'll see that a new project has been created. At this point, you can tap on the project and specify what type of project it is. I'll leave it at the default setting of Parallel, and I'll move it to my Fun and Recreation folder. If it's a parallel or sequential project, I recommend adding at least one next action. Otherwise, the project is stalled. I'll create an action of email:Greg to arrange a time to chat with a context of shallow. And it can be handy to use Siri to view your lists in OmniFocus. A reminder that a list can refer to a project or a context. Siri doesn't differentiate between the two. If John just walked into the room, you could quickly pull up all of your items related to John by saying, show me the John list in OmniFocus.
Okay, here's what I found.
I have two contexts that contain the word John, and OmniFocus has shown me both along with their remaining actions. I would need to go to OmniFocus to make changes and to mark them complete. This is just a taste of what's possible with Siri on iOS. We'll be featuring more ways to make productive use of this functionality in other articles, videos, and live sessions at learnomnifocus.com. This is Tim Stringer from Learn OmniFocus. Thanks for watching.